If you've ever worked harder, pushed more, tried to be perfect, forced inspiration, only to get more stuck, you've already experienced the truth. Trying too hard blocks creativity. Let's talk about why. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Sherman Rivers. Today we are exploring a powerful misunderstood concept. Creativity does not respond to force. It responds to openness. When you try too hard, you don't stimulate the creative system, you shut it down. Let's break the mechanics of this down clearly. You see, creativity lives in the relaxed mind. Creativity requires openness and spaciousness and curiosity and intuition, emotional flexibility, and relaxation. But when you try too hard, you activate tension and constriction and pressure, stress, fear, overthinking, and self-judgment. These two states cannot coexist. The relaxed mind creates, the pressured mind protects. When you try too hard, your mind switches out of creativity and into survival. What's important to understand is that effort is not the problem. Tension is. Trying harder is not the issue. Trying harder with tension is. Effort and relaxation equals flow. Effort and tension equals blockage. See, most creators assume that if I'm stuck, I should push harder. But in creativity, force does the opposite of what you want. It tells your nervous system we're under threat, and nothing new emerges under threat. Here's a big problem. Trying too hard activates the inner critic. When you push yourself, your self-judgment increases, your expectations rise, your performance anxiety spikes, your fear of failure intensifies, your perfectionism activates. Trying too hard creates an internal environment where creativity cannot breathe. Your inner critic drowns out your inner voice. Here's the paradox. Trying harder makes you worse. The harder you try to create the right idea, the further you get from the authentic idea. The harder you try to be perfect, the less authentic you become. The harder you try to impress, the less expressive you are. Trying too hard disconnects you from your identity, and identity is the source of your creativity. Here's another thing. Overexertion comes from fear. Hey, quick break, quick message. If you are stuck forcing output or constantly trying to control your creative process, this is for you. Creator Metaphysics is a free weekly newsletter exploring why creators struggle and how clarity replaces force. Join free at creatormetaphysics.com or scan the QR code you see on your screen. There's also a link down in the description. Trying too hard is not ambition, it is fear. It's fear of not being good enough, being judged, being misunderstood, making mistakes, disappointing people, failing in public, and not living up to your potential. So trying too hard is the body's way of saying, I don't feel safe. And the moment safety disappears, creative flow disappears with it. And I know you've probably heard the saying, most things that are too easy aren't worth it, right? So you would equate ease with being lazy. And ease is not laziness. It's actually creative intelligence. Creating with ease doesn't mean lack of ambition or lack of discipline or lack of seriousness or lack of professionalism. Ease is the state your mind enters when it's open, grounded, and aligned. Ease is the doorway to flow. Ease is what allows intuition to guide you. Ease is what gives your creativity room to breathe. Ease is not laziness. Ease is intelligence. So, how do we stop trying too hard without becoming passive? Here's the solution. 1, lower the emotional stakes. Think, this doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be expressed. 2, shift from performance to presence. In other words, stop performing and start expressing. 3, work in smaller bursts. Short, focused, relaxed periods are often way more effective. Number 4, reconnect to your body. Breathe, move, loosen up. 5, allow creativity instead of forcing it. Let the ideas come, don't chase them. And number 6, follow your intuitive sparks. The first impulse is often the truest. Now these 6 steps, they transform pressure into flow. So think about this. Trying too hard blocks creativity. Not because effort is bad, but because tension shuts down the creative mind. When you stop forcing and start allowing, your creativity becomes deeper, your presence becomes stronger, and your ideas become richer. So next up in this micro series, we're going to talk about the surprising power of creative play.